Marketing Cloud Security Settings.
Session settings. Session timeout controls how long the application remains open in a browser before the system automatically logs out. Setting a short session timeout makes it harder for unauthorized users to access your account. For example, if you log in and then walk away from the computer, the session times out. This step prevents someone else from using that computer to access the account. Marketing Cloud determines user inactivity based on the amount of time elapsed since the user interacted with the user interface.
Username and logins. The login expires after an activity setting prevents a user from logging in to the account after not logging in for several days. For example, if the value is 90 days and a user doesn't log in for 90 days, you must reset the user login information. This setting helps prevent unauthorized users from exploiting old accounts. The invalid logins before lockout determines how many chances a user gets to enter the correct password for a username. Too many incorrect attempts require the user to reset the password. This setting helps prevent unauthorized users from repeatedly guessing a password. When the application locks an account, that user can't access their account or request an activation code until the administrator unlocks that account. The minimum username length setting determines how many characters a username must include. A longer username makes guessing the value more difficult. Multi-factor authentication. We recommend implementing multi-factor authentication, MFA, to enhance your Marketing Cloud login process by adding another layer of protection against common security threats. These threats include phishing attacks, credential stuffing, and account takeovers. Each account user must register at least one verification method after you enable MFA in your Marketing Cloud tenant. Identity verification. We recommend implementing MFA for your Marketing Cloud account, and we plan to make this feature mandatory. Customers currently using Identify verification can refer to the Identity Validation documentation for additional information on identity validation and IP allow listing settings.
Password policies. The minimum password length setting determines the number of characters a password must contain.
The password complexity setting determines the types of characters that must appear in the password. A longer password makes guessing the value more difficult due to an increased number of possibilities. For example, if a password is one letter long, there are only 52 possibilities to guess due to that number of lowercase and uppercase letters. However, a two-letter long password creates 2,704 possible combinations. A few thousand possible combinations can seem like a lot to you, but it presents a small number to programs that specialize in guessing passwords. The longer the password, the more difficult it becomes to guess. Add in the possibilities from numbers and special characters, and the difficulty of guessing the password goes up. The Enforce Password History setting determines how frequently a user can reuse a password. The User Passwords Expire in setting determines how often users must create passwords. For example, a user can use just two different passwords and alternate between them. If an unauthorized user compromises a password, the unauthorized user who knows the password can access the system half of the time. Enforcing a longer history reduces the time an unauthorized user can access the account. Some users include a number in their password and increment the value. The system allows numbers, but this option doesn't create a secure password. Setting a short password expiration period can encourage this behavior and other problematic behavior, such as writing down passwords. A shorter expiration provides more security only if it doesn't cause users to compromise their passwords. The Exclude API Users from Password Expiration field allows you to set users with the API User checkbox selected to avoid changing their password. Follow security recommendations for this password and change the value frequently. Unless necessary, don't select the Exclude API Users from Password Expiration option. Instead, schedule a time with your API users to change the API user password when necessary. The Exclude FTP Users from Password Expiration field allows you to exempt FTP users from regular password changes. While this option can aid the functionality of file transfers to the Marketing Cloud, change the value frequently. Select Send Password Change Confirmation Email to make the system send an email notification to a user after any password changes. The email helps alert a user to suspicious activity on their account. Data Export Settings. The Enforce Export Email AllowList setting forces the application to export data to only those email addresses on the Export Email AllowList. This AllowList allows you to precisely determine the email addresses eligible to receive export data and notifications from your account. Connection Security. Connection Security provides visibility on the security protocols used to access your Marketing Cloud account. This section displays the connection types allowed to connect to the system using TLS 1.2. Enterprise and Agency Security Settings Inheritance. Any new business unit created in an Enterprise or Enterprise 2.0 account inherits the security settings from the parent account. This inheritance also applies to child accounts created in an agency account. All security settings continue to inherit from the parent account to the child account until you change any security setting on the child account. At that point, the inheritance ends and the child account no longer updates security settings based on changes at the parent level. You can't reinstate the inheritance after a security change breaks it. Audit Trail. To enable data collection for audit logging in your account, select Enable Audit Trail Data Collection. This feature collects audit logging in two separate reports available after you enable this feature. Use this information to evaluate security-related and auditable events that occur in your account. Modify Marketing Cloud Security Settings. Modify security settings in Marketing Cloud Setup. Multi-factor authentication for Marketing Cloud. Multi-factor authentication (MFA) enhances your Marketing Cloud login process by adding another layer of protection against common security threats, including phishing attacks, credential stuffing, and account takeovers. With MFA, a user must provide two factors to prove their identity: their username and password combination plus a supported verification method, before they can log in to their Marketing Cloud account. Even if a user's credentials wind up compromised, the additional factor helps prevent unauthorized access. Login IP AllowList. A login IP AllowList includes a range of IP addresses you define that indicates what IP addresses can access your account to prevent unauthorized IP addresses from logging into your account. AllowListed IP addresses ranges can access the application. Identity verification in Marketing Cloud. The identity verification (IDV) security setting in Marketing Cloud requires you to authenticate the browser or app used to access the application. When you attempt to log in, the system sends an email with a verification code to the email address associated with your account. Enter the code in the verification code field to log in. Ensure that all users in your account use valid email addresses in their user profile. Export Email AllowList. Your Export Email AllowList contains individual email addresses or domains that can receive exports via email from your Marketing Cloud account. Enter these email addresses or domains as export email recipients in the Setup section. Once you create an Export Email AllowList, only users matching the AllowListed criteria can receive exported data. Audit Trail. Audit Trail allows security admin users to view Marketing Cloud access and activity records. Receive Audit Trail records either through Marketing Cloud Automation Studio data extracts or through REST API extracts. Retrieve Audit Trail information periodically for use in your own internal system tools.
Thanks for watching Salesforcestart.